Rain poured relentlessly on the small coastal town of Whitby, washing away traces of another quiet evening. Inside an old Victorian house at the edge of the cliffs, Eleanor Gray sat beside the fire, her trembling hands holding a letter she had written 100 times but never sent. The ink bled from her tears as she whispered, "This is the last one, Daniel." Daniel Gray, her husband, had been dead for 6 months. The town believed it was an accident. A late-night drive gone wrong, his car tumbling into the sea. But Eleanor knew the truth. She knew he had been murdered, and she knew who did it. Victoria Hale, Daniel's business partner. Beautiful, ruthless, and ambitious. The kind of woman who smiled while planning your downfall. Daniel had trusted her, built his dream company beside her. But when he discovered she'd been embezzling funds, he threatened to expose her. Days later, he was gone. Eleanor had no proof, just whispers, rumors, and the gut-deep certainty that Victoria's perfectly manicured hands were covered in her husband's blood. For months, Eleanor played the grieving widow, quiet, broken, invisible. But behind that fragile mask, she was building something stronger. A plan. Victoria Hale was untouchable. Money, charm, and connections had built her an empire. When she returned to Whitby to announce the grand reopening of the company, under her sole leadership, the town cheered. Only Eleanor remained silent, standing at the back of the crowd, her dark eyes fixed on the woman who had destroyed her life. That night, Eleanor sent a letter, written in delicate handwriting, to Victoria's home. "Dear Ms. Hale, there are things you've hidden. But secrets, like the sea, always find their way back to shore. Meet me at the cliffs tomorrow. Midnight. Come alone, or everything comes out." Eleanor sealed it with Daniel's old signet ring, something only Victoria would recognize. The next night, under a stormy sky, Victoria arrived. Her heels clicked against the wet stones, her umbrella trembling against the wind. "Eleanor," she called, her voice sharp, uneasy. Eleanor stepped form, the shadows, dressed in black. "I knew you'd come." Victoria tried to smile. "You've been through a lot, Eleanor. But dragging up the past won't help you heal. Don't pretend you care," Eleanor hissed. "You took everything from me. You're mistaken," Victoria said coldly. "Daniel's death was a tragedy, but it was an accident." Eleanor laughed bitterly. "Then why were his last phone records to you? Why did he tell me he was meeting you the night he died?" For the first time, Victoria's mask cracked. "You don't know what you're talking about." "Oh, but I do," Eleanor whispered, stepping closer. "He recorded your conversation. I have it." Victoria froze. "You're lying." Eleanor handed her a small USB drive. "Listen to it. Hear yourself confess." Victoria snatched it, shaking. "You don't know what you've done." Eleanor leaned in, her voice calm and deadly. "I know exactly what I've done. You ruined my life. Now I'm going to ruin yours." Victoria turned to leave, but Eleanor's next words stopped her cold. "The police will get that recording by morning," Eleanor said. "And your investors will get a copy too." Victoria spun around, eyes blazing. "You can't." But her words drowned in a sudden rumble of thunder. The cliff beneath them trembled as wind tore through the night. Victoria's heel slipped on the slick rocks. Eleanor reached out. Too late. Victoria screamed as she fell backward into the roaring sea. Eleanor stood frozen, her heart pounding. Then she whispered, "Now it's over." The next morning, the news spread fast. Victoria Hale, presumed dead after falling from the cliffs. During the storm, the police found her car, her phone, but no body. Eleanor watched from her window as they combed the shoreline. She didn't cry. She didn't smile. She simply burned the last letter she had ever written, to Daniel. My love, justice has found her. I can finally rest. Yours forever, Eleanor. The flames devoured the words, curling the paper into ash. But as the smoke faded, a single thought haunted her. What if Victoria wasn't dead? Weeks later, a letter appeared on Eleanor's doorstep. No return address. The handwriting was unfamiliar, elegant, sharp, and chillingly familiar. Dearest Eleanor, the sea doesn't keep secrets forever. See you soon. V. Eleanor's hands trembled as the letter slipped from her fingers. Outside, the wind howled, carrying with it the echo of a woman's laughter. And somewhere, beyond the cliffs, the sea roared in approval.